What is the greatest mystery that's intrigued humanity for centuries? Do dragons actually exist?
To this day, scientists are baffled by this. Even though they obviously don't exist.
Hold on. There is evidence that most folks have never dared to unearth. Now, why haven't you stumbled upon this evidence before? Well, it's not because the evidence isn't out there. It's because everyone's just been looking in all the wrong places. Evidence hidden by mere neglect. So if you're sifting through dinosaur bones or glued to scientific journals for evidence of dragons, you'll read nothing but snide jokes. Scientists don't want to validate dragons. It would be like asking an atheist to prove the existence of God. And authors like this one take their cues from scientists, because who else is there to turn to for answers?
Virtually every culture on the planet has a dragon myth, including cultures that never spoke to one another. They all independently came up with a very similar creature, and we don't necessarily know how. There are theories. Some say that it is something that is just baked into the hard wiring of the human brain. In other words, our most reasonable, plausible theory is that you were born with a dragon-making machine in your skull.
Or maybe it's a less convoluted answer. Dragons exist, and every culture on Earth has witnessed them. Our options of who to turn to for answers have been heinously trimmed today. So the obvious solution is to look in the past for other answers before the boundaries of thought were shriveled. Now let's crack open this Pandora's box of dragon mysteries and use evidence that's good enough to put you in prison. Eyewitness accounts. And you can be the jury. So here's a Japanese newspaper from 1908, quoting, "The story of the dragon dates back to February 23rd, when heavy shower of what native correspondent describes as dark-colored rain fell in torrents and shook the earth to its foundations. Towards nightfall, the dragon appeared and descended into the clouds. As soon as it disappeared, the rain stopped." That was the Japan Times. Now, how about a mass sighting a bit further out in the Pacific? This one among the Solomon Islands, and as recently as the 1990s. In the book Solomon Islands Mysteries, Marius Borian writes about a strange phenomenon that occurs routinely on the islands almost every other night, which the villagers called a dragon snake. It flies over the island and it terrorizes the locals. During the time that Borian was living in a remote seaside village in northwest Guadalcanal, he learned that this creature came out of the mountains at night and flew around. Everyone in the whole area had feared this so-called dragon snake for generations. It had piercing red eyes that killed people and had been responsible for people going missing. This is more than a folklore account or a legend from the past. This was an ongoing occurrence from a people that didn't have to rationalize what they saw as anything other than what they witnessed. And sure, they brought their own cultural understandings to this paranormal encounter. But I need to emphasize, these are paranormal encounters. Dragons are a paranormal phenomenon. A good rule of thumb is, if it shapeshifts, it's paranormal. And on the next dragon video, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the nature of dragons.